Good news, Panther Nation. It is your boy, Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. And happy Thursday to all of y'all, man. Hope y'all are having a great day, and do want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Underdog for being the sponsors of this video. Guys, please make sure to use this little QR code to download the Underdog app. That way you can play Underdog Fantasy with your boy. And honestly, just have some fun, earn some money. Let's have a good time and have a great time. But again, thank you to Underdog Fantasy for just sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. And guys, as always, again, just download the QR code right there and join the Underdog Fantasy app today. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's docket because we got a few things that we need to talk about. One, got to talk about our big hog up front, Cade Mays, see what he got going on. And number two, Mel Kiper has officially started dropping, so you know we got to start talking. And also we got to look at another position that we are looking at in the NFL draft this year, which is the lineman. So we're going to start with Cade Mays, and reports are coming in that Cade Mays could potentially receive a big payday this offseason. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Cade Mays got paid. I'd love for us to pay him. I like Cade Mays as our center. Honestly, I love him as our starting center right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets paid in doing so. And Bleacher Report, Mo Moten from over there, spoke on Cade Mays and his upcoming potential payday. Here's what Moten had to say. He says, the Carolina Panthers may have found their long-term starting center in Cade Mays. Over the last 2 years, he's taken the majority of snaps at the pivot. In 2025, the 26-year-old played 726 snaps without giving up a sack and committed just 2 penalties per Pro Football Focus. With Austin Corbett moving to right guard, Mays found a home in the middle of the offensive line, snapping the ball to quarterback Bryce Young. In 4 seasons, 52 appearances, Mays has started in 27 contests, so there's room for him to grow with more experience. As suggested, for the Panthers, their biggest priority should be building around Young. Keeping the quarterback-center exchange intact makes sense. While 3-time Pro Bowler Tyler Lindenbaum and Pro Bowler Connor McGovern will garner most of the attention among centers set to test free agency, Carolina can lock in a budding, unheralded player in Mays, though it could come at a steep price after his standout year. Honestly, pay the man. Plain and simple. Pay Cade Mays. You have a young core. And the thing about it, we keep preaching, keep the young core together. Keep the young core together. We keep preaching that in and out every single day. Cade Mays is a part of that young core. Having that center and quarterback relation is pivotal. One of the most notable examples we know of, Jeff Saturday, Peyton Manning, were together for years and always, or 99.9% of the time, on the same page with what they see. Give Bryce Young more consistency, not only at the receivers and not only with the play calling, give it to him on the line. And it starts with the center. I didn't like necessarily the exchange going back and forth between Corbett and Mays and Corbett. And y'all know me. Y'all been here with me for the whole season. I was calling for Mays to be the starting center from the jump. I saw that last season. When Mays came in for Corbett, Mays was doing a lot better, and Bryce Young felt a lot more comfortable. Snaps weren't as arid and just all over the place. There seemed to be a consistency, and then from a protection standpoint, as we just saw, he only gave up 2 sacks. So you know nobody's coming right up the middle to sack Bryce Young. Not with Mays there. So with that in mind, it's plain and simple to me. You pay Cade Mays. You pay Cade Mays. Keep this intact. Keep this core group together. Keep building around it. Dan Morgan, it is not a hard question. You can go look at free agency just to see how you can work the budget, and maybe you could talk Cade Mays into taking a little less money than what the top centers are. That way you can make sure the salary cap and everything functions well and functions accordingly. But pay Cade Mays. He deserves a payday. He's playing his butt off. It keeps the connection with Bryce Young. Make sure he's the starting center, and let's keep moving forward. Like, there's nothing to discuss here, in my opinion. In my personal opinion, there's nothing to discuss here. I've been a Cade Mays stan. I've said the man deserves to be paid. And Cade Mays, if you're ever seeing this, salute to you, my boy. You've been playing your butt off. Y'all share this to Cade Mays. If anybody who watches this has a connection to Cade Mays, share this to him. Please. Please. But yeah, guys, I'm in agreement. Cade Mays deserves to be paid. Now, I don't want him to be overpaid. Like, pay the man, but don't pay him so much to where it puts the rest of the team in a financial hole, obviously. And to be truthful, that's a given for any position, if I'm being honest. If I'm being completely honest, I feel that way about any position. Unless the individual just has that breakout of a year. Like, for example, let's say T-Mac goes on and is an all-pro the next 3 years. Like, second year, third year, fourth year, and he's putting up 1,000 each year. Oh, yeah, you pay T-Mac. You pay T-Mac like a top receiver right then and there, even though he's young. But right now, Cade Mays is still getting his feet under him, still getting the money he's worth, but he's definitely worth more money right now. Next, we got to talk about him because we're going to talk about him a lot. Mel Kiper releases his first mock draft of 2026, man. And obviously, with the mock draft comes his selections of who he thinks is going where. And yes, he has released who he thinks is going to the Carolina Panthers. So let's go ahead and look at who Mel Kiper has the Carolina Panthers selecting at number 19. And the pick he has is one C.J. Allen from Georgia. Nani? So according to Mel Kiper, he says, Carolina took a big step forward on defense and overall this season, but there's a looming void in the middle. Christian Rosewoman is a free agent, and the Panthers could use a 3-down middle linebacker to step in. Allen is a read and react player who sees it and goes. In 2025, Allen had 97 tackles. He also can chip in with the pass rush, and you'll see him drop in coverage on tape. The Panthers went from 5-12 in 2024 to NFC South champions at 8-9 this season. Nailing this pick could be important in defending that title and making more noise in the playoffs next season. Now, not gonna lie, a lot of high praise from Mel Kiper, which I'm always a fan of. But I'm not against the CJ Allen pick because if I recall, when we were looking at linebackers earlier this week, CJ Allen was, let me make sure. Yeah, C.J. Allen was the number 3 linebacker per Bleacher Report when we were looking at it this week. So if they're saying that the number 3 guy is available that high, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. I think C.J. Allen's a really good player. I think he is a phenomenal linebacker. I just want to make sure we nail that linebacker pick. We got to hit it out the park. Whoever we pick has got to make sense if we're going linebacker in that first round. I personally don't think C.J. Allen's going to be that late, available that late. However, I'm okay with being wrong. And I definitely think he's on the board of consideration when you get to that 19th pick and you look at who's available. Because at that point, it's going to be like, who's the best person available to fit our system? Because sometimes you can have a great talent that's not built for the system you have. That is a very true statement. I don't think any of y'all can disagree with that. Sometimes there can be an individual who is a great talent but does not fit the defensive or even offensive scheme you are building. So that's just my personal opinion. I think Mel Kiper is right in having us go linebacker. If he had us going anything outside of linebacker or offensive tackle, I would have been very shocked. I would have been very shocked with Mel Kiper. No pun intended. Like, that's not even a pun. No, just, it would have been confusing. It would have been really confusing. And I would have needed a lot of justification as to why he went that route. And then in later drafts, C.J. Allen's stock might move up and we might shift. It always happens. Or he might shift down and he might get word that Carolina's looking in a different direction at the linebacker spot. But C.J. Allen is not a bad choice by any means when it comes to that 19th overall pick. So, all right, Mel, we'll see. We'll keep monitoring and see how you feel about that. But while we keep thinking about that, guys, we also know that, listen, football in of itself is still going on. It's still here in the NFL. It's still here in the league. And guess what, man? Because of that, let's get this going. Because of that, Underdog Fantasy is a place that you can get all your gridiron action. And guess what? Playing Underdog is super easy. All you got to do is pick your favorite players from higher to lower on stats like rushing touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, and more. And if you get them right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. And this week, honestly, we're going to be looking at the quarterback who I was looking at last week, one Matthew Stafford. And when I look at Matt heading this week against the Rams, or not against the Rams, against the Seahawks, they had Matthew Stafford listed at 255.5 on passing yards, 1.5 passing TDs, 0.5 rush yards, 21.5 completions, and 0.5 interceptions thrown. Looking at this for what it is and being completely honest, first things first. Passing yards, 255.5. I do think Matthew Stafford goes higher than that. I think he hits 260, 265, and the reason being is they're going to need him. In Seattle, they're going to need him. Matthew Stafford's going to try him. He's not afraid of them. He's going to go in there and try the best he can, even though the last time they played, I think it was a 13-3 game. It was a very low-scoring game. I think this one's going to be a high-scoring affair. And I think Matthew Stafford is going to show up and show out in doing so. Now, passing touchdowns, they have it at 1.5. I'm actually inclined to believe lower. And I would go lower. Reason because he's going to get one. But I think they're going to rely heavily also on Kyron Williams and Blake Corum as well. It's going to be a balanced attack. 1A, 1B, 1C. They're going to try and defeat Seattle in a multitude of ways. So Stafford himself, he'll have one touchdown pass to probably Puka Nacua or Devontae Adams. However, Corum might have 2 touchdowns or Williams might have 2 touchdowns. It's going to be a balanced attack. And it's going to be just real Sean McVay, real all over the place. You don't know what you're going to get, but you know it's going to be somewhat special. Rushing yards, 0.5. Matthew burned me once, so I'm going with the lower. And I've realized in this offense, Matthew don't do play action rollouts. He don't run. He'll do a QB sneak and still not get a yard. So I'm taking the lower here with Matthew Stafford. It's kind of crazy, but I just think it's hilarious, and I think it's funny. 21.5 completions. I'm definitely going with the higher here. Because Matthew Stafford, as I said earlier, he's going to need to throw the football. He can't be afraid to throw the football against Seattle's defense, and he won't be afraid to throw the ball against Seattle's defense. He's going to try. He's going to hit passes over the middle. He's going to hit the screens out the backfield. He's going to hit the deep shots. But at the end of the day, in order for them to win, in my mind, he's got to hit at least 22 completions. That's just my unbiased personal opinion. And lastly, interceptions thrown, 0.5. Matthew is going to throw an interception. Playing in Seattle, playing against that defense, even as good as Matthew Stafford is, he's going to throw an interception. That Seattle defense is going to get one. Whether it be off a tip or they actually read the pass or Matt just threw it arid, that Seattle defense is going to get one interception off of Matthew Stafford. And it's going to be just the way the game goes. The Rams defense is probably going to pick off Sam Darnold too. So, hey, that's what happens when you play this game. But guys, what are y'all waiting for? Go ahead and download the Fantasy app. You can use this QR code, put it in the App Store or the Google Play Store, and use the promo code FootballFan to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code FootballFan to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5, man. Underdog. Make picks. Win money.
Must be 18, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-878 or text HOMI 467-369.
All right, y'all, and now we are back to the third aspect of the show, and we are getting into the nitty-gritty. And we're going to look at the top D-line prospects heading into the 2026 draft because we have said interior D-line is something we are looking at for this draft class. And so here's what we got on the docket. Did I say D-line? Wait a minute. Yeah, these are D-line. Or are these safeties? No, these are D-linemen. I just forgot to change the thing at the top of the title. So, whoopsie. That is on me, guys. I apologize. But looking at the D linemen going into it, number one, I was looking at, number one, and this is coming from CBS Sports. That's who this is coming from this week. And I'm trying to make sure I also fix this little graphic real quick so that way it reflects what y'all see. So give me like 2, 3, 4 seconds. When's the last time I had an issue? What, like a few months ago? No, probably like a few weeks ago, if I had to be honest. Because I want to make sure the graphic reads correct. There we go. Actually, why not do that? You know what? It's fine. Yep. Y'all know what it meant. But top D lineman going into the draft. You have, right now, according to CBS Sports, you have Peter Woods at Clemson at number 1. Caden McDonald from Ohio State at 2. You have Ahmad Moten Sr. from Miami at number 3. Lee Hunter from Texas Tech at 4. Kristen Miller from Georgia at 5. Akeem Misador from Miami at 6. Chris McClellan from Missouri at 7. R. Mason Thomas from Oklahoma at 8. Dominic Orange from Iowa State at 9. And Dante Corleone at number 10. And, bro, honestly, because I don't think we're taking D linemen until second or third round. I was looking more on the back end of this. And anywhere from Mesador down, I think is viable for us to take in the second round or the third round. I think that's very, very, very possible. Now, we probably going to have to go closer to, like, Mason Thomas, Dominic Orange, Dante Corleone, and then even lower, potentially, because I don't know how many teams are going to take a D lineman in the first 2 rounds, but I'm pretty sure a good amount will take somebody on the D-line. And if they're going off this list, these names are going to start falling off the board. However, I would say from Mesador on down, those are potential options. And I think a lot of these guys are solid. There are some names lower on the list that definitely deserve to be higher when I was looking at it. But top 10-wise, it's not a bad list and it's not a bad conglomerate of individuals. But Mesador is definitely one name I think could be a steal. Could be a steal. He might fall, he might not. I thought he did pretty good from what I saw this season. Mesador, McClellan. I didn't see Mason Thomas because I don't watch Oklahoma games like that. Oklahoma and Ohio, I just don't like Oklahoma. So I didn't watch Oklahoma games like that, nor did I watch Iowa State games. And that's just because I just didn't see Iowa State play, not even because I don't like them. But we will see how it plays out. But those are just some names to be cognizant of and be aware of and think what's going on, man. But now we're going to move to the Panthers free stream of the day. And I don't know if I shared this photo before, but I still love it, even if I did. So, this is from the playoff game, and dude just holding up the Thanks Atlanta sign. I love this, and I greatly appreciate this sign from the game and whatnot, and I like it. But now it's time for your favorite segment, time for Panther Nation. Speak your truth, and that's where I read y'all comments and see what you lovely people have to say. And the first comment comes from Akeem Lowry 121, says, the McDermott firing was a shock, but if EJ leaves the Panthers, either go Wilkes, McDermott, or Morris. All should be good for the personnel we have. Honestly, listen, I've been with y'all on the Wilkes rehiring. It's a matter of if Wilkes thinks that it's worthy to coming back. And I've told y'all, I've said it on this channel multiple times, Dan Morgan, Tillis, hey, Tepper, amend that bridge. Amend that bridge and bring Wilkes back. Bring him back. I still think McDermott's not going to be a coordinator this year. I think he's going to be a head coach somewhere else, whether it's Pittsburgh or in Baltimore. I don't know if they've hired their positions yet. I don't think McDermott's going back to a coordinator. Now, if McDermott is, and he's open to it, hey, absolutely. But I don't think McDermott's going back to a coordinator. Morris would be good, though. Raheem Morris would be good as a defensive coordinator, not as a head coach. Defensive coordinator, he'd be good. I'd be okay with that. Plus, he knows Atlanta, so that definitely could help in that long run. Next comes from Black Angel Productions. Says, T-Mac is going to be an absolute legend. Mark my words. A decade from now, we as Panther fans are going to be looking back at T-Mac in the same way we hold Cam Newton in high regard. T-Mac is going to get a Super Bowl ring on MVP and a Hall of Fame ring. Bet. Hey, y'all heard the man. The Super Bowl ring on MVP? You know what'd be crazy? What if T-Mac wins MVP as a receiver? League MVP. What would a receiver have to do to win league MVP? That, I wonder what a receiver would have to do to win league MVP. I'm really curious about that. They'd probably have to break all-time receiving yards record in the season, all-time receiving touchdowns in the season, and all-time receptions in the season to even be considered for league MVP. That, I would love to see T-Mac win the league MVP and a Super Bowl MVP. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Hey, he said mark his words. I'm marking them. And lastly, comes from Danger Duck Whitaker, says, you're not being biased. Evero's version of the 3-4 is terrible. He calls four-man fronts and prevent more than anything. And Canales' ego won't allow him to bring in someone who's actually an OC. Hey, y'all boys getting cutthroat today. Woo! But okay, as long as I'm not being biased and everybody agrees, I'm not being crazy. But guys, that's all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom so you can always be notified of when these videos are dropping. Next, comment below. Let me know. 1, do you think Cade Mays deserves a payday, and how big of a payday do you think he deserves? 2, do you agree with Mel Kiper saying we'll take C.J. Allen with the first pick with our 19th overall pick in the first round? And 3, who do you feel is a good D lineman for us to look at in the 2026 NFL draft to help beef up that interior D line and whatnot? Let me know this and everything else in the comment section below, because at the end of the day, y'all know the deal. What do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Much love to all your Panther Nation. Take care. Later days. And as always, keep pounding. I'll see y'all next time.